Gentlemen, thank you and welcome. In the video, we saw President Jacob Zuma say, "I want the truth." He was addressing the miners and he was quoted there as saying, "I want the truth." My first question to you is, did we get the truth with this Farlam Commission report?
The overwhelming view of the victims, that includes the injured and arrested and the widows and other people, is that the Commission fell far too short of what they had hoped for. Some of them went so far as to say that they had wasted their time for 2 years and left their homes, and their homes were broken into because they had pinned their hopes on the Commission. So there is widespread unhappiness and bitter disappointment.
There is no truth, no justice. I think the Commission was just made just to, as a gesture, not to find the truth. So therefore, this is just another 2 years wasted time and taxpayers' money at the end of the day. Because if there is no truth that is unearthed, there will be no healing at all. So I think this was just a cover-up exercise to cover the executive and the plunder of the government.
I think that the Commission, having now read and got exposed to its terms of reference as amended, was never designed to give us the truth and to give us the facts and to give the victims of the massacre a sense of justice. Once you have the Commission's terms of reference amended, with the President writing another letter in April, reminding the Commission of Inquiry that it can do everything except to make a finding on the executive, then you must know that by design, the Commission the Commission by Farlam was a farce.
What we've seen for too long now are political appointments at the highest level of that organization. Starting with Jackie Selebe, then with Becky Tsele, and now with Ria Pierre. People who are appointed there who do not understand the challenges that police officers face. They've never experienced those challenges themselves. They don't have a background to that organization. And they see their role as more political. And over the last 10 years, we've started to see deterioration in the police. So that people are less safe and very high levels of brutality, very high levels of corruption. Pretty much we have operations such as Operation Fiela, which seem to target mainly poor people and vulnerable people, whereas those involved in armed attacks in people's houses, in people's businesses, are not being brought to book because the police are doing other work. You cannot have police leadership doing that in this country. People will die. And I think the Marikana report very clearly shows that that's the kind of leadership we have at the moment. And it's not going to be solved by simply holding one national commissioner accountable. She must be held accountable, and Provincial Commissioner Bombo is already retired. We need to look at the entire leadership structure.
The moment that the terms of reference were so amended as to say that the Commission may not make any finding on the executive, it's one of the most shocking things that suggests that it was an order not to probe the central issue of political accountability to the people and to the nation.
My reaction to the whole thing that says Pierre is going to be the fall guy in Bobo, yes they are, because they took the decision, they agreed to be appointed to positions they knew very well that they have no training or experience for. Yes, they must face the brunt. But where is the Commission on the fitness of those who appointed them, the President, for example?
I think for the immediate victims, closure will only come when there is justice and the truth. And justice and the truth, they have sworn to pursue however long it takes. Like the Sharpeville massacre, like the death of Steve Biko, like all the other massacres. One day the truth will come out, and that will happen. But for South Africa, I think closure will only come when we address the issues of economic inequality, which are really fundamentally at the root of all this. Because, for the majority of South Africans out there, every day is Marikana. Every day is Marikana for them.